Hello everybody, this is Albert with Green Tea House. I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to talk about tea, how it's better than coffee if you're intermittent fasting, and why this is. Now before we begin, if you haven't been here to Green, Texas, outside of New Braunfels, Texas, come visit us. We'd love to meet you. We're halfway between San Antonio and Austin. Also subscribe and hit the notification bell because this helps with the algorithm if you appreciate our content, and post a comment. So, fasting. In full disclosure, I have been fasting since 2014 every day. I have not had breakfast since November of 2014. Now back then in the mid-teens, the intermittent fasting was somewhat well known, not nearly as well known as it is now, but back then it was mostly like the biohackers, the paleo lifestyle, those types of people that were pushing it. But it was not nearly in the zeitgeist as it is now. You know, you hear a lot of people fasting because of that work that was done 10, 15 years ago by those pioneers. And so we're really not going to talk about the benefits of intermittent fasting here because it's not necessarily germane to tea. Now, if you are practicing intermittent fasting, so if you're not familiar with it, intermittent fasting is essentially a compressed eating window. So instead of eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks in between, you're only eating in a certain window of time. Most people will skip breakfast and do a lunch dinner window. Some people skip dinner and do a breakfast lunch window. I think the typical one would be 18 hours fasting, including sleep, and 6-hour eating window. So you would eat from 12 to 6 p.m. I've been doing a 20-hour fast for about 3 years now, out of the 10 years, maybe 4 years. So I break my fast here at the tea shop. If you're ever here around 2:45, you'll see me eating nuts or dark chocolate or a yogurt bowl. And then I try to finish dinner by 6:30. Now, how does tea affect that? Well, as the name would suggest, fasting is you need to not be consuming any foods during your fasting time. Once you consume foods, that's going to kick you out of the fasting state. But drinks as well. So I'm drinking Dragon Ball right now. So the issue with liquid is liquid that has no calories is perfectly fine. And in fact, you're encouraged to hydrate quite a bit when you are fasting, either doing just a daily compressed eating window. If you're doing a multiple day fast, 1, 2, 3, 4 days where you're not eating at all, you certainly need to hydrate and take electrolytes. But while you're doing your compressed eating window, your daily shortened eating window, you do need to be drinking. And so I drink tea, of course, because tea is the best beverage on the planet. The other reason you should be drinking tea and not coffee if you are fasting is because tea hydrates. Coffee dehydrates. And if you doubt this, go to a coffee shop. What do they always have at a coffee shop? They have a little water canister. You don't find that at tea stores because tea hydrates you, makes you go pee quite a bit. But with both coffee or with tea, so long as you're drinking those beverages straight, you're not going to break your fast. When you start adding anything to it, sugar, honey, monk fruit, agave, all these things, it's going to kick you out of that fasting mode. Because I mentioned that eating anything will kick you out of that fasting mode, but so will adding sweeteners to your beverages that will kick you out of the fasting mode. And of course, drinking beverages that already have sugar in it and carbs in it, like juices and smoothies and sodas, clearly will kick you out of the fasting state. So I would tell you, definitely drink tea if you're practicing intermittent fasting, because I'm not going to say so far it's going to suppress your hunger, but sometimes hunger masquerades as thirst. In other words, we think we're hungry, but actually we're quite thirsty. So just drink a lot of tea. It has so much L-theanine, it's going to relax you and it's going to hydrate you, but you got to drink it straight so it doesn't kick you out of your fast. Now what I do is I drink a session or 3 infusions of pu'er right when I wake up around 5:30. Then when I open the store, I drink my green, a session of that, 3 infusions, and then I drink, typically I rotate between white oolong, yellow around 11 o'clock, and then I do another rotation around 1. And then I'll break my fast around 2:45. Again, about the last 4 out of the last 10 years. The previous 6 years, I would normally break my fast around 1-ish. I've always been like a 5-6 hour eating window. And then once I break my fast, so after 2:45-ish, I switch to a tisane. Normally it's going to be cinnamon or maybe Ashanti, an Ayurvedic blend that we have here. Sometimes I will drink chamomile or peppermint, and then I'll do 3 cups of that. And then by 4 o'clock, I really don't drink a lot of fluids after that because I don't want to wake up and pee later on. Guys, post in the comments, do you fast? Do you drink coffee or tea? I would love to hear from you. And of course, last thing is you can use artificial sweeteners if you're drinking your Earl Grey straight and you want to put stevia or aspartame or sweet and low. But in general, I would highly recommend anything artificial and just try to develop a taste for drinking tea as is. Guys, post in the comments. Until next time, take care. God bless.